Welcome to Toffee TV. This is your comments from Crystal Palace. The Crystal Palace game, yeah. Everton 1, Crystal Palace 1. Friday night, Goodison Park, under the lights. Underwhelmed, the whole thing for me, Friday night football. But there you have it. That's where football's going. Wait soon when we're playing at a different time for every single game, and every game's on TV. Yay, we can't wait. Anyway, this is your show. This was your chance to tell us what you thought of this game through the comments after the game. So let's get straight into the comments. Connor EFC says, nowhere near relegation, but if the last three performances was a Martinez team, everyone would fume, only saved by a shit ref. Yeah, that was in reference to someone on the radio saying that they thought that Everton were in a relegation fight. Connor, I don't necessarily agree that everyone would fume that if it was a Martinez team. I think you've got to remember this team is only 3 or 4 months down the line from being a Martinez team. It takes time. Things take time. Norfolk Cat Kickers said, thought we slightly edged it. Last game we were terrible. Crystal Palace are a good team. I think it's okay. Poor performance. Okay. Mixed bag there. John Chadwick says, good result against a good side. Koeman is building a new team. New stalkers. I think he means new strikers. Maybe he means new stalkers. Maybe he's just into those kind of things. And midfielders are need in the next window. Koeman knows what to do. Callum96 says, relegation? What the hell are they smoking? Must have been the same stuff Pardew smoked before the FA Cup final. Harry Watt says, poor result. No two ways about it. We were lucky. The free kick we scored from was fortunate, plus they scored a legitimate second goal. It wasn't given. Was it legitimate though? Was it? Forget the previous manager, what went before. We should be beating Palace at home every time. Okay, they've had 2 good results against relegation candidates, but we should be on another level to them. The second half was all them. We were shocking. Should we be on another level to them now? Again, I go back and I say, don't forget, it's only May that we were playing absolutely terrible football in the Martinez. May. This manager's only had 2 months of real football on the pitch. Forget about pre-season. That was all about trying to get players fit and trying to get them used to the Koeman styles. 2 months. So let's. I think we all need to calm down a little bit. Tank C says Palace are not a bad side, and they know how to defend. We are not as good as we thought. As I thought, we should be beating Palace at home. End of probably a bit of a mental thing now. Yeah, they've got a decent record against us, Palace now. It's I think it's once beat them in 6 games, something like that. Dan Williams says, not playing consistently well yet, but still early stages of a new era. We were never going to maintain our superb start, but our point haul is still impressive and a great platform to build on. Crystal Palace played well, but couldn't beat us. Stay positive, Blues. We're moving in the right direction and the future is bright. John Hill says, spot on, Ped. Palace will be hard to beat for most teams. Won't be surprised if we get a result against City. Positive stuff there, John. Bob Espana Richard says, spot on. Time needed. Also, if the halves had been the other way round, most people would have been happy. Yeah, if we'd started poorly and ended the game well, then yeah, most people would have been. I didn't think we ended the game that badly. I thought that towards the end, it was mostly us, going for the game. I think they settled for a point with about 10 minutes to go. Just some Evertonian says, finally, someone talking sense. Too many people stuck in the Martinez mindset. We've won 4 games out of our opening 7. We only won 11 last year in 38. Relax, people. Domino Jeweler says, this is going to be my last season ticket. I can't enjoy games with our fans. I've left almost every home game this season early. Even when we've won, I'm not happy. Our fans ruin it. That's an interesting point, Domino, because fans were booing at the end and it was only a small portion, but I just can't get my head around it. Last season, I can understand why people did that. You can understand when you have seasons like that, but this season for me, I think the managers trying different things, he's experimenting with different things, he's seeing what works. Not everything's going to work all the time, you know, especially if it's something you're trying for the first time. The players are more organised. For me, they're trying. They're not getting everything right, but they're trying. And, you know, you can't judge this early. You can't get on the backs this early. I just find that absolutely madness. Keys Garden says, I'm not the biggest fan of Oviedo, but I thought he had a decent performance tonight. Yeah, I thought Oviedo played well. I thought first 10 minutes he looked a little bit ropey against Sahar, but once he sort of got his head around what he needed to do, I thought he had a good game. So yeah, I think he did all right. Oviedo probably, you know, obviously a lot better than last week anyway. And you can understand why he took him off though, because of the physical presence they were starting to put on the game, and the diagonal balls onto him and onto Seamus, and obviously they scored from one of them against Seamus. David Keel says, we've come a good distance already. When you look at how our new style of pressing football is advancing, we are trying to learn a new style of play as well as increasing the fitness levels, which will allow us to play this way. It's going to end up looking good, but it will take time. Callum says, still need a good keeper along with 2 backup centre attacking midfielders and 2 strikers. It's fair enough. Dylan Blue says, totally agree with you, Ped. People have lost their heads and any sense of perspective. Early days for a new manager, bound to take months to take on board his ideas fully. Points all from the first 7 games, excellent. Ryan Naviicles says, poor second half performance. Thought Barkley in the first half was decent, but quiet in the second. Lukaku was decent. Basically, the whole team played well in the first half. Very lucky not to lose from the offside goal, which wasn't offside in the second half. Wasn't he? I think it was offside. It's just the defending that still needs touching up. Oh, I thought we defended quite well, but I really can't believe people are talking about relegation. We're not getting relegated, full stop. If we were, we wouldn't have had the best start of season we've ever had. Let's get behind the lads and have a good season. Absolutely right, Ryan. James Mongillo says, we need to be more offensive. Our defence will be one of the best this season. Yeah, I think it's about knitting everything together, and at the moment it's more about making sure we're defending well, and I think that's a sensible way to start the new season under the manager. Carl Hughes says, I'm a bit disappointed, but Palace are a tough team to beat. Can see progress from last season, but still work in progress. Would just like to see more of the under-23s on the bench and getting a chance if things on the pitch not working. Still a solid start to the season. Yeah, James, I totally agree. The under-23s have started brilliantly. I think there's definitely a couple of lads in there, you know, who could add to the bench. Obviously, Tom Davies is on there. You know, this is a big season for them under 23s. I think the change as well. There's more. I think there's more senior players playing in that kind of level now. You know, obviously seeing Nias playing for us, so that can only go for them. That they're playing against more physical, challenging players. Subhad Khan says, what do you think of Barkley's performance and where do you think we'll finish in the Premier League table? And do you think the intensity was slow in the second half? I thought Barkley played well first half. I think the stats back that up. I think he had he created more chances than he's ever done in a half before. I think it was 8. I think the second half, I think the problem with the second half was that they changed the way they went. They just went long ball diagonal, you know, and they got joy out of it. It's something we haven't been used to this season. I think it's something that will, you know, and that was I think Barkley struggled because he just never got on the ball enough, and if he doesn't get on the ball, he doesn't get involved in the game. I think we'll probably finish hopefully around 7 or 8, challenging for one of those Europa League spots. You know, that personally, when you look at the league, the way it's starting to develop anyway. Mark Anderson says, best match report, and I agree with your sentiments. Too many Blues flapping. because Liverpool are doing well. Well, maybe so. William McGuinness says, if we can't beat teams like Crystal Palace and Bournemouth or Norwich in the Cup, then something isn't right. Surely the negativity and frustration is understandable. Ross Barkley needs to be sold. Ask yourself, what does he offer the team? Nothing. William, I think you're talking a load of bollocks, mate. I think, as I've said before, it's early on in the season, and there's plenty of growing to do. And as for Ross Barkley, what, you just sell him just because he isn't playing well, or you drop him and then try and figure something out. The manager's trying to figure out what to do with Ross Barkley, because he knows there's a talent in there, but it's getting that talent out and getting a consistency. That's what he's trying to do, and that's why he tried him on Friday night in a more advanced position where he didn't have as many responsibilities. But it's how that works in the side. Maybe the formation of the team needs to be changed. I don't know. Maybe Ross needs to start playing as a number 10 like Dele Alli does, and have less responsibilities and literally his own responsibilities going forward. That's what the manager's trying to find out. I just find comments like that just absolutely ridiculous. But thank you for your comment. Paul Roberts says, the fans need to take a longer view. Sign of the times though. If people don't get what they want right now, they flip out. Yes, millennials, I blame you. Dave, cracking name, says, Holgate, we need to start him because he's confident on the ball. What can Coleman do except surge upfield and score the odd goal every 10 games? He shakes like a shitting dog when performing any task. Cleverly, Kone, Delafeu and Oviedo are not good enough. They're average cover at best. Get rid in January if we can cover them, that is. Yeah, I think Seamus has had a very indifferent start to the season. I thought he was absolutely woeful for their goal. Just the fact that he never got up, just the fact there's a ball in the air and he just stood there. And Benteke is always going to outjump him, but it's the fact that he wasn't aware that Benteke was there by the looks of it, so never got up early to try and even get in the way. I thought he was abysmal in the goal, and I don't think his height has anything to do with it. I think it was just his awareness was just gone. Cyan Lloyd Davies says, on reflection, it's not a bad point after a poor performance in the second half. Biggest problem is Koeman has no one he can trust off the bench to change the game, because the squad is paper thin after our best 11. First week in January is big for us. We should have deals lined up already to go, because there are plenty of time to get things in place. I absolutely agree. The squad is just not good enough. It's not strong enough. It's not physical enough. And that's the top and bottom of it. And he doesn't look like he trusts people off the bench. I mean, look at the game today and he made 2 subs. He clearly just doesn't trust his players that are there. Lucky Patrici said, people must have forgotten how bad it was under Roberto Martinez. Koeman is a fantastic coach. We need to stick with him. Well, let's find a couple more now. Okay, is an interesting one. I2 Shay says, this morning has me thinking about last night's squad and how Everton are going to drum up scoring chances. Fact is, with Ross playing the way he is, he's killing the midfield and any possible scoring chances they get. Well, he did make 8 goal scoring chances on the first half. Of course, it's not his fault. The midfield, from an offensive perspective, has been average at best. Who do they have up front midfield that's a legitimate scoring threat? Lukaku, obviously. Then who? Barkley, Balassi, Kevin Morales, Delafeu. Barkley's the only one I'd call him a legitimate threat at this point, and he's playing very poorly the last 3 or 4 games. I did love Koeman taking him off the pitch and just saying enough is enough. Side note, I complained a lot about Oviedo last week, and we're glad to admit when I was wrong. He had a great game and looked better than Coleman. We'll see if he can do it consistently. Yeah, fair points there. Maybe Oviedo needs a run of games. I hope he doesn't, because I want Baines in the side, but we'll wait and see. Lewis Constable says the people in the Gladys Street were booing the ref, not the team. They weren't, Lewis. I sit in the Gladys Street. I heard them booing the team. They booed the ref afterwards, but immediately at their final whistle, they were booing the team. A small minority, that is. Let's get 2 more. Mr. YouTuber 001 says, Too many players fade in the second half. Weak bench, question mark. Maybe Tom Davis should have been on in the second period. We looked a little stale at times, but 14 points from 21 is great, and we've not peaked yet. The disallowed Palace goal should have stood. I'm not sure about that, but Moss and the flagman choked. Good point for me. Our brilliant fans have already sold out the City away end. Well done, everybody. And last one. I'm going to go with this one just because of the starter, but okay, that'll always grab me. It's football and we want to win every game, but it's difficult in the Premier League where any team can beat any other team. We shouldn't be panicking after a couple of disappointing results. If we start giving the team a hard time, it's only make the players nervous and more likely to make errors. Koeman is a realist, and we should be realistic too. We've got off to a good start in the season and got a bit carried away. Give it time, we will see the Everton we like. That's from KJ Mansfield. Spot on. I think everyone just needs to calm down, have a bit of perspective, and make sure you watch me and Baz on the Final Word, where we'll be talking about this game and everything else. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later on Toffee TV.